Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the NRW, where nerds rule the world. And I think that was a trailer. I think. Welcome to Hundreds of Beavers, the review. This review is going to be interesting because I think Kayak and I both have thoughts about this movie. The film is set in the 19th period, in the winter, where there is a character known as Kayak, who is he's an apple farmer, an apple orchard farmer, and something terrible happens that relates to beavers in his orchard, and everything goes up in smokes. And then the next thing that happens is he wakes up 3 feet underground in the snow, and he just is trying to survive. As the beavers continue to take over the forest and build, he is trying to survive. He is trying to find pelts. He's trying to find food, also that he can make money and make a living and potentially find love. Something like that. This is going to be spoilers. There's going to be spoilers in this. There's mainly because there ain't much to this movie. It's literally a guy killing animals that are humans dressed in beaver and bunny. And skunks are real. The skunks are regular. But they're dressed up in wolf costumes and a whole bunch of stuff. And it's just fucking weird, y'all. And that's kind of the plot. It's kind of just fucking weird. I can't really figure out any other way to put it. So with that being said, let's talk about cast and crew. It was directed and written by Mike Cheslik, and Ryland Brixton Cole, who is also the main character, Jean Kayak. It features Olivia Graves as the furrier. Love. Greatest moments. I'm just going to say it. Doug Manchesky, who plays the merchant. Wes Tank, who is the master fur trapper, aka Santa Claus. Luis Rico, who plays the Indian fur trapper. That's where we're going to be careful with that one to not sound racist. And then basically every single other person on the IMDb page is a man-animal. They are a man-animal of some sort. I usually joke about how to say animal, but they're more like a man-animal. So they're a man-animal in this case. Kuya.
Yes.
Initial thoughts. I don't know why this is so weird.
I did not know what to expect. I was getting a lot of over the course of last year. This film was actually put together in 2022. Mm-hmm. It went the festival circuit. It didn't get a video on demand release until last year, April 15th. But and a lot of PR agencies were pushing this film to us, and I gotta say, I was one of the people that was disregarding it for a lot of last year, up until award season, the end of last year. And I was like, what the fuck is this film? And when I put eyes on it, I had to tell Heather she had to see what this was. And she finally did it. And now we're here talking to you guys. And I don't know if are we giving thoughts now or just my thoughts was what is this film? And I was still speechless until even after seeing it now. And yeah.
Yep. All right,
So there you go.
we're not quite to full review yet, but I'll give
Okay.
mine and then we'll do it. My
Yeah.
initial thoughts was Kuya P actually mentioned this movie to me like 14 times, and I couldn't remember the name. Um, and it's because mainly because unfortunately I have not been able to go to many screenings over the past 2 years because of the distance. We critics got to get paid somehow. We don't get paid for this. We do this because we love it. Just saying, sponsors, you could come in and help. But that is a 2 hour drive for me to get anywhere with the offerings that have been made. So I had to like jump down and watch a whole bunch of stuff. And every single time I'd watch a movie, Kuya P would then be like, "Have you watched Hundreds of Beavers?" And I'm like, no. And there was even a time where I was watching other animated films because I knew that he wanted me to watch something that was Looney Tunes-esque, and I couldn't put it together that it was this movie. So in the reason that we're talking about how like down the list this movie was is because of our actual reactions to the film. So let's get into let's move away from our initial like what the actual fuck is this happening to our real reviews. Kuya P, what did you think of Hundreds of Beavers?
As soon as I saw it, I was like, OMG, like literally. If I was one of these new kids these years, I would be on OMG just every single moment. They pulled off a live action WB cartoon that I saw growing up with this film. I was astounded and was just blown away by just every minute of this film, like where they're going. I did not know where they're going, and when I thought it was ending, a whole nother thing would happen, and I was literally glued to this film for its entire runtime, just mouth agape, probably flying in, and I was getting some protein that way. I just was, what is this film? And I just need to know all the things, and everybody else needs to sit through what I just watched because I don't understand how this film was made, how it was done in today's modern times. I'm like, wow. And I'm literally, as Heather was talking, I pulled up Wiki. This film was made with only a budget of 150,000, and that's actually over time. It was actually made for a lot less. It grossed 792,000 in box office, so it definitely made its money back within the box office. But just how this film was, I need a making of with this film, and that was another thing I was thinking after watch. Like, how did you make this film? Because this kind of technique and way they don't do this anymore. It's a silent film, but black and white. Just it's crazy, and it also, as a filmmaker, I have to say, inspired me what you can do with limited resources. Because I think also because it's not even done that way, it's using techniques that anybody can actually still do. You just got to do it and make it happen. And as I was reading this wiki too a little bit while also paying attention to my girl Heather over there, um, it's crazy on how this was all pulled off, but it's very realistically can be done. And it's very inspiring, and just I got to give them their props. They, from top to tails, when people write cartoons, we all know, it's like 3 minute, 5 minute, maybe less than 3 minute stories with these WB style stuff. They fucking put together a whole film that have us a beginning, middle, ending, and then different segments within where there's certain parts, if you pay attention, find its way through that. Like there's certain points and characters that they introduce that make sense over time, and like hilarious, and just an achievement. I gotta say, an achievement, and just really well done, and it deserves its props. And more eyes like Better Man. Go check out our review with Better Man that Heather and I will have on the channel by the time you see this as well. More eyes need to see this film because wow, wow. Those are my thoughts, Heather.
All right. All right. For those of you who follow me on socials right now, I'm kind of being a little extra political, so I do apologize. But if you saw my initial reaction to this film, this movie, Hundreds of Beavers, is what happens 9 months after a Looney Tunes cartoon and a Monty Python cutaway meet on Tinder. Um, I, I can't
Well said.
explain it other than that. Um, but it is like there are moments that remind you of a Looney Tunes cartoon. There are moments where it was just like, this is just a fucking Monty Python cutaway. But and it's done in a really amazing way. Like it's in so many ways, this movie is so classically filmed. I had a really great conversation with Ron Perlman about Day of the Fight, and he actually mentioned about how it was very difficult to make a black and white film. Making a black and white film nowadays is it is getting more into the zeitgeist again. We're seeing more artistic, fun stuff with it, but they're usually very indie based and they aren't really appreciated by Hollywood in total. This movie is black and white and technically a silent film. There are noises, there are this, that, and the other. And there is talking at one point that's just a really funny moment. But having films like this is actually still pretty shunned and looked down upon in Hollywood. So it was really fun. The graphics, and at the same time, though this is classic, this is very classically filmed, there are some things that they can only do thanks to the ability to have graphics the way they are now. And it's fun, it's silly, it's goofy. The acting is on point. The fact that it's so over the top, you need to be able to act over the top for over the top to happen. There have been a couple of statements where it's like, well, this is just a movie anyone can make. No, it's not. You have to do a lot of stuff. I have worn the Easter Bunny costume. I know how fucking difficult that is. I was literally so short because I am short. I did not have to duck under doorways. But it is so hard to move in some of those costumes. It takes work, it takes strength, it takes time, and it also takes a realistic look at society to make jokes that they did. There were fucking gay bunnies. Come on now. It was astonishing. I'm going to use that word. This was an astonishing film. Is it something that you need to pay super close attention to? Absolutely not. I was watching it while I was working. And I didn't miss anything. My true one and only complaint is that this movie felt very long. We're talking about things like we're making analogies to Looney Tunes. There were times where it's just like, okay, he's circled the map 5 times. Can we move to the next? You could have said, thrown a SpongeBob cutaway to 2 days later, 5 map jumps later. There are elements of this film that make it drag, but that's literally the worst thing about this movie. Overall, it is the goofiest shit that you could just put on and enjoy in the background, and have fun. And it takes place in the hunt period in Green Bay, and it's really, really funny and really, really goofy, and it plays on stereotypes, and it's a movie that you will enjoy. With that being said, though, when I say that it's something that happens after two fictitious things meet on Tinder, it's because of that. This is not a kids movie. I do not think. Do I think that they won't understand a good chunk of the adult jokes? No, but this is kind of graphic at times. So don't think that because we're saying this is a fun, silly movie that we're saying take your children to watch it, put it on. There are some elements to it that are rather graphic, and. So be realistic. Always remember, it's as we've said, always remember before you let your kids watch something, you are your eyes and ears for your children. Read up on the stories before you let them watch anything. And that includes Disney shit, because you never know what's going to come out. All right. There's not much when it comes to cast. We're not going to talk too much about the casting because there's literally like 4 people that you see. Everyone else is in costume and they're all phenomenal. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to put words in Kuya P's mouth here. They're all phenomenal. With that, we're just going to move right into our final thoughts. Kuya P, final thoughts about the movie.
Well said. I agree with all your points. It does drag. When I finally put, it was like after I would be like, oh my God, did I just see that? But then it would introduce something new. So there is, the thread that keeps you going. But yeah, you again, you think it's done, but no, and then boom, it hits you. What this moment here? But then I felt like I needed to rewind though. I ain't gonna lie, like because I felt like I might have missed something.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so it can definitely feel its whole time, but also there's just if you truly if you enjoy the stuff like that we grew up on, then you'll like okay, that makes sense. But yeah, but also yeah, like you said in regards to letting children see it, I agree. Although I would say this is along the lines of a lot of other films we've allowed that I've seen other families let other kids before, but if it's my child, no, like you said, Heather, make sure you watch it, and it's up to how you've taught your kids and what they know about the world before you should ever introduce anything. Don't let don't make entertainment teach your kids, people.
Mhm.
That's not their job. But well said on all points. This is an astonishment, as you said. This is insane. Um, I agree with you. Also, it's also a very hard film to make, but also it's made with the real capability for these indie filmmakers to make it. So inspiring. A lot of pre-pro. In regards to what you're saying, and to make these shots happen, to get everything, to the costumes, everything, woo, yeah, but so inspiring, and just they pulled off a live action cartoon,
Mhm.
in so many ways with this, and with limited budget, limited crew. I just wow, it's an astonishment. Um, I'm curious before I know we're in final thoughts, but I really want to know certain specific from you, big moments for you. The kaiju beaver, without saying too much, was a big thing for me. Maybe that's because I'm Asian. I like kaijus. Were there any other? Um, uh, I was just curious. Anything like that really stood out for you in its hilarity?
I love, oh, I actually wrote this down. The dogs playing poker caught me. It
Oh,
fucking
right, and that
caught me.
classicness, right, and the dog
Um,
slowly.
Vanishing and play the last one playing solitaire. Fuck me. Uh,
Amazing.
but the men in beaver suits who come together to be a giant man is really really funny. There are some really great moments. The most animated fun one that felt the most cartoonish was of course when they're in the beaver dam and he's going on the roller coaster, and that felt
Oh
really
yeah,
fun.
that was cool too.
Um,
Yeah.
th this movie was just one of those where there are so many really funny elements that stood out, that it also showed where it dragged because what you were doing is you were waiting for the next big thing to
Hmm.
happen.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a constant laugh out loud. That's okay. Comedy should be constant, but at the same time, it's like there would be this really great moment, and then it would be 15 minutes, and then there'd be another really great moment. Um, but it was funny. It was deeply enjoyable, but the dogs sitting around playing poker caught me. It caught me real hard. And then of course another one. Once again, this is humans in costumes. The horse. I almost start. I don't want to give this away because people don't have to see it. The horse caught me. I was just like, I can't fucking watch this anymore. Like I can't. It caught me, especially because there's multiple scenes with the horse.
Yeah.
But no matter when the horse is on, when the fact that you see the fucking face, it's hilarious. Um, so watch Hundreds of Beavers. My final thoughts are once again, I hope that Tinder date went well. It seems like it did. And watch Hundreds of Beavers. It is available for a very low price of only $6 on Apple, but it is available for free to watch on Prime if you are a member. It's available on Tubi with commercials. All those places is available. Definitely go watch it. Kuya could not have yelled at me enough to watch this movie, and I should have watched it sooner. It is.
Are you happy you did?
I am happy I did. It's the goofiest shit that I've probably watched in a long time, and that's on purpose. It is a good goofy shit on purpose. Um,
Yeah.
shit is an important part of this film. Uh,
Yes, it is.
I can't with this movie. All right, Hundreds of Beavers is available right now on digital. Please go watch it. If you did not like this movie, if you thought it was a little bit overplayed, I don't know what you're expecting from us anymore then. But please tell us in the comments if you absolutely loved it too. If you disagree with the fact that you think every single parent should show this to their children so that they understand how beavers can get killed, then do it. tell us in the comments. We love to hear from you. Like, subscribe, share, all of those fun things. We are the NRW, and we will see y'all soon.